Hey, so I decided to come back and add more to my Curtis Yarvin observations. And this is just a general observation. I'm using him as the jumping point because a lot of people are like spooked by some of the things he says. But it's just to make a larger point about the new right. I won't call them alt right, but alt right can be encompassed in this as well. But we'll call them the new right and the use of meme/troll culture to open up the Overton window. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the phrase the Overton window is basically talking about, it refers to the scope of civil discussion. So, certain things that are acceptable to say out loud in terms of thought evoking or policy making, to just give an example. So let's say, as far as the American democracy is concerned, the Overton window stretches from maybe Republicans or conservatives would like a stronger executive branch to maybe liberals or classically in the history of the U.S., the congressional branch or legislature being the most strong. Well, if you were to expand the Overton window, you might, for instance, say, oh, on one end, we can get rid of an executive branch, so like get rid of a president and rule basically more as a federation with the governors of each state in addition to the legislature and the judicial branch. Or you could shift the Overton window to the extreme end and say, well, you get rid of the legislature and you basically have a monarch or a CEO rule the country. So that is expanding the Overton window, which is classically constricted to having three branches of government and an executive with varying degrees of power. So what you'll notice on the right, the left does not do this at all, actually. And to be honest with you, I will just keep it neutral for the sake of people understanding the example. But the right in the last 10 years or so has made very good use of meme culture and trolling, especially with like that Pepe the Frog meme that came out around like 2014. So they use all of these caricatures and memes and social media to kind of expand the Overton window. So I will say that in the last 10 years or so, the right has made good use of memes and social media and trolling to expand the Overton window into things that they want to consider or would like to see come to fruition in this country. So the interesting thing about Curtis Yarvin is I get that sense. That's when I was talking about him in the initial video, I was just strictly speaking on his New York Times interview because I generally don't like to hear things secondhand about people. I would rather just hear them say with their own mouth what they believe and dissect that and then branch out further. But generally, I said that, oh, I get troll vibes from him, and it's exactly on cue because you see all over Twitter, all over Facebook, the use of the Pepe the Frog memes to like kind of push the envelope with, let's say, racist caricature, misogynistic content in terms of, oh, revoke the 19th Amendment or suppress, women's right to vote, or like a lot of the evolutionary psychology things that these guys really are into in terms of alpha male this, beta male that. So the right has really co-opted that space, and this is how you can get to a point where a person that entertains an American monarchy is being interviewed by the New York Times, because over the last 10 years, you kind of desensitized people to the thought process of, oh, if we can talk about a monarchy, an American monarchy, obviously that sounds ridiculous and beyond the pale to most people that prefer American democracy. But the point of it is like, if you stretch it to actually include talk of that, you could actually, when you compress it back, you have still expanded the reach of the executive just by bringing up the cause of monarchy. So now, like we see with this current government or this current administration, okay, well, I'm going to hedge my bets that you're not going to see a monarchy come out of the current Trump administration. But that doesn't even matter because they're testing the limits with the executive orders to expand the reach of the executive branch. So even if it doesn't get 100% to the way that they want it, and they know this, the Heritage Foundation, all of these people know this, even if they don't get 100% of what they want, even if they get 20%, they've still stretched their limits from what it was in the Obama administration. So that is just something that's an observation of mine, and it's a tactic that frankly has worked. If you see the things that people talk about, are interested about, like red pill stuff was very niche in like 2006, 2008, 2012, and now this is just a matter of discourse these days. Even people that are relatively square use the colloquialisms of being blue pilled or red pilled with regards to relationships, politics, work, and all facets of American life. So tell me what you think.